So that intro before the lyrics start goes like this. And to play that section, we're just going to start out with the index finger on the 7th fret of the A and the middle finger on the 8th fret of the E. And we're going to go very slowly through this first bar. And so you're going to pick, and we're going to leave that position here the whole entire time. So we're going to pick the A string, the E string, pinky comes to the 10th fret of the E string, then remove the pinky, and then lift index finger off, open A, back to that E string. So one more time, a little bit faster. A string, E, 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 A, E. And then one more time. And for that 10th fret of E, you can use a hammer-on or just pick it again. It doesn't really matter which one. Moving into measure 2, it's going to start out the same. I'm going to pick the A string, E string, pinky to 10th fret of E, back down to 8th fret, and then 10th fret again, but hold it. And what's nice about this first bar, we've just reached measure 2. Measures 3 and 4 are exactly the same. They're just going to repeat what we just learned. So one more time, starting from the very first measure. Alright, and then starting from measure 3, we're going to go all the way to measure 4, since it's exactly the same. And then that last note for measure 4, we're going to be picking the 8th fret of the E with the open C string. So essentially, this is a C5, that's a C4. So you're just picking that C note, but there'll be an octave difference in there. From here, we're going to hold that and just let that ring. And then we get to launch into the actual words of the song. And so we're going to start out from here with this position for the index on the 7th and middle finger on the 8th fret of the E. We're going to go into a C chord. All you're going to do is add the index and pinky. So from here, index finger goes to the 7th fret of the C string, middle finger stays on the 8th fret of the E, and pinky comes to the 10th fret of the A. And so this is a C chord. You're probably used to C being down here, but this is a C as well. And we're going to come into this position, but we're not going to strum it just yet. First, we're going to pick the open G string, which we haven't put a finger on. And then moving into the second bar, now we're going to strum this entire chord. And so you can hear it in context. I'll play this bar on the screen. And those two last notes launch us into the next bar. But starting at the beginning of what's on the screen, we're going to strum that C. You might recognize this shape as your G5 down here, but instead it starts at the 7th fret. So strum once. And as you strum, you can make sure that index finger is laying flat across the strings, because we're going to need that 7th fret of the A in just a moment. From here, you're going to lift off the pinky, revealing the 7th fret of the A. Pinky to 10th fret of the E. And then lift it off, pick the 8th fret, because your middle finger is already there. And then from here, just gonna release and strum all the strings. It's an A minor 7 or a C6, whichever you like to call it. And then that's the easiest chord ever. So we're going to go straight into a C chord, but again, we're not strumming it just yet now. Pick the open G string first, and then strum the chord. And then from here we have a simple walk up 3, 5, and 7 on the A string, and we're just essentially going to walk up into that C chord we were at the beginning. So one more time, starting from that C, we're going to strum once, then 3, 5, 7, and then come up here to another C chord. Then at the end of your screen, we've got 2 more notes, the G string and A string, which launch us into bar 3. Playing bar 3 together will sound like this. So to put that part together, we're just going to play normal C chord, how you're used to it. We're going to be using the index finger for this particular C because we're going to need the other 2 to reach the 5th fret and the 7th fret. So C chord. And then you have 2 options. You can either pick each note individually, or what I did in the video was a little slide from 5th to 7th. Either one is correct, whichever one you like better. And going up to that 7th fret is making our way towards our C chord yet again, which we've had a couple times already. Make sure the index finger is flat, and we're going to pick the 7th fret of A, followed by the 10th fret. And then we're going to bring the hand further up. We're going to bar the E string and the A string at the 10th fret, middle finger on the 11th fret of the C. We're going to leave the G string open. We're going to strum this once. It's a G chord. It just looks very different from your G chord down here. We're going to strum that once, and then do a little pull off. You're going to use the ring finger to pick the 12th fret of the E, and you're going to pull off to the 10th fret of the E. Just like that. And from here, we're going to leave this position where it is, but slide it all the way down, and just arc the index finger enough so we have the open A. So it should be open, second, first, open. So playing this last bar together very slowly, starting with the C string. 5th fret to 7th. C chord. 7th fret to 10th fret. Into your high G chord. Then the pull off. Down to the bottom. And so a little bit faster would sound like this. And that's how to play the first part of Singing in the Rain. To get the rest of the tutorial and all the tabs, head over to ukeondemand.com and subscribe below so you don't miss our upcoming fingerstyle tutorials. We'll see you next time.